Welcome back to Season 2 Premier League of the WCS Europe. It's all right, you can cheer. That's good. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. They've been a bit quiet tonight, actually, so it's good. Well done. Good, good. We like that. That's very good. So, 2 games down, 3 to go. Who's going through? We're about to find out with our first one. Let's just check in with the brackets first off to show you where we are and show you that the 2 players in the winners' game will be NaNiwa and MMA. The other 2 players are Happy and Tefl. They still have chances. They're going to face off after this match in the lower bracket, and the winner will play the loser of our winners' match. Next one's very big, though, because the winner of this will claim the 5th place in our round of 8. Yes, we will have 5 in there already. This week has just flown by. It's been so quick. The 2 players in question are legends in their own rights. The first is a Triple Crown winner. He is currently ranked a lowly 59th in WCS points after what has been a very poor season by his standards. Likewise, the Swede NaNiwa still sitting outside the top 16, the Protoss ranked at 24th. But so far, so good for both men. They are both undefeated in round of 32 and the round of 16 here in the Cologne studios of ESL. So who's it going to be? The Triple Crown winner or the King in the North? We're about to find out in our game of crowns, if you like. It's time to go over to our commentary team to bring you all the action. It's once more, it's Apollo and Kalaris.
Thanks very much, Paul. A battle between 2 of the absolute favourites now to win the entire tournament, some would say.
Yeah.
As we have MMA facing off against the NaNiwa, Mr. NaNiwa.
Yes, yes. Is it going to be a Protoss through again in first place? Or are we going to have a good, solid Terran representative to carry, of course, the Marine flag into the round of 8?
I mean, if MMA actually doesn't advance from this group, be it in first place or in second, I would be extremely surprised after what we just saw there.
Yeah, I mean, so far in this tournament, he's undefeated. Sure, he's lost a map here and there, or I think it was just 1 map, actually, in the round of 32. He lost a map against Tails online.
Yep.
Which is when, MMA was playing from Germany, Tails was playing from Korea, and Tails was doing all kind of crazy things in that group. But MMA so far this season is looking great. He's currently ranked 59th in the WCS ranking point system, but with a strong performance today, and hopefully he may want to represent Europe in the Season 2 finals, he could be climbing back up quite high.
Yeah, he could be our next Jürgen. Who knows? Who knows?
We'd have to find a new name for him.
What's his actual name? It's like Jung? No, I can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, we would have to find a new name for Mr. MMA. But here, as we will get into the map vetoes very, very shortly to determine where we're going to actually be playing, which locations these guys will visit.
All right, MMA's name is Seong. Seong, his first name.
He could be a Sean.
So I think, I was going to say Sean, but there isn't a German, so I think we should call him Simon.
Simon, yes. Oh.
Jürgen and Simon.
Oh.
2 German players.
Yep.
Of course, being in Germany here in the ESL studios. But that is a name that we can consider as we move on into the round of 8, and potentially if he wins his round of 8 game and he advances into the round of 8 first today, then we can look at that. But for now, he needs to focus on actually being able to move through into that round of 8. Maybe he loses this game. Maybe he has to drop down to play against either Tefl or Happy again in the final match.
Yeah, that's certainly true. But either way, if he does, he could have strong performances there, very strong performances. He's already shown his wealth against Happy, and then against Tefl. Well, we all know about Mr. MMA's TVZ here, but now he has NaNiwa to go up against. And NaNiwa said before, not exactly too pleased with having to go up against a Terran.
Yeah.
But still, NaNiwa looked very, very good against his opponent in games 2 and 3, and he's looked good all season, to be honest with you. NaNiwa for a long time now has been flying that flag, and it could certainly be him lighting that foreign flame.
We'll see, because I'm quite excited for NaNiwa just to be able to see what he's going to bring to the table. We saw an awesome style with his Protoss versus Zerg in his first series of the day, and I would like to see something special again against Terran here. He's had a month and a half to 2 months of playing in Korea, and we'll see how well he can play. Hello!
Hi!
Hello!
Yeah, hello!
And I'd like to see how well he can play against Terran, because NaNiwa says that maybe he's not feeling confident or comfortable against Terran players, but I think he can pull out something quite special today.
Yeah, I certainly think he could as well. And I personally would love to see not only our crowd, but also a Terran advance on through. That would be cool. I would like that.
It would be cool to see a Terran go through, and I think MMA would represent Terran really well in the round of 8 with the way that he's playing. But as we can see, we are now finally ready to begin the veto system. NaNiwa is to pick first, so we are going to look to see what he vetoes. Looks like he's complaining about Terran already.
Like, no. What? Whoa, hey, hello. Hello, Sean. Okay, we're zooming out.
Honestly, I think like maps that NaNiwa may want to get rid of, or maps like Star Station, I think. Whirlwind's the first one he gets rid of.
Yeah, Whirlwind goes. So I am not too surprised by that. It's a big map. MMA has a lot of opportunity to be stretching his multitasking to the very, very limits on a map like Whirlwind if it goes long. And also, it's not a map where you see too many Protosses being able to break with things like Immortal Busts and stuff. So that might be where NaNiwa wants to find comfort. And Red City does go for MMA.
Derelict Watchagon. So NaNiwa actually leaves Star Station available in these in the map selection here, and that's a lot of. Star Station's a lot of Protoss players actually veto that out all the time, so it is interesting to see that in there.
Yeah, and we'll see what is actually going to be picked last here by MMA. This does mean that NaNiwa will have first pick of maps as well, as we shall see in just a second. There we go, Neoplanet S does go. So now NaNiwa has to choose. I would not be too surprised if we saw Nuco Precinct first and then Belshir Vestige second. But then again, I mean, Belshir Vestige being a good choice for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think Belshir Vestige is the map that the all-round game can be played on. It can be very difficult, though, for MMA to play on Belshir Vestige. So I think I'm not sure what the first map, I think it's going to go in the order of Newkirk, Star Station, then Belshir, but it really does depend on which maps they feel comfortable on, as two players do exchange the handshake, ready to begin this best-of-3 series in the winners match to decide who moves on to the round of 8. Another Protoss player, we've already got 4, with a guaranteed 5th from tomorrow's group. We could today see the 6th player out of 8 be a Protoss player if NaNiwa was to take this victory over MMA.
I think more for the comedy factor than anything. I wouldn't mind even just having, to hell with it. I mean, technically we can't have a full bracket of 8 Protoss. It would be a max of 7 because there's not 2 in this group. But it would be funny, and it would certainly be interesting. And hey, Titan's here, another Protoss player. Whee.
Hello, Titan. I just walked past us there, thought we'd say hello. And of course, we'll be playing out tomorrow. But we talked a little bit about NaNiwa bringing a new style today, just to freshen up the matchup a little bit. I think we're going to see that style played out more by struggling Protoss players in the matchup against Zerg. But I'm also really hoping to see some awesome, fast-paced Terran play from MMA.
Yeah.
To see drops all over the place, to see him cracking the defense of NaNiwa, to play smart with his army movement. And we'll see if he's going to be able to crack the Swedish player here, who, as mentioned, is definitely one of the strongest performing player when it comes to non-Koreans in Heart of the Swarm. But MMA, is he back to what he used to be? 5 different tournaments he's won in his career. And if I have a quick look here, GSL, MLG, the Blizzard Cup, Intel Extreme Masters, and an Iron Squid.
Yep, and as Paul's mentioned already, Triple Crown, the first ever Triple Crown. And that really is a testament to who he was and who he wants to be once again.
Yeah, Triple Crown, of course, being a tournament won in each major region that StarCraft 2 is played. MLG being America, IM being Europe, and of course the GSL within Korea, the first player to travel internationally and to be able to pick up those 3 tournament victories.
And that GSL, I mean, it wasn't against anybody. It was against MVP that he won that GSL.
That's right. He beat the best at the time. Let's see if he can get back to there. This is the starting point for MMA to see if he can go back to where he used to be. Now playing for Team Acer. Representing them well so far. Let's see if he can do this, because we're about to jump into this best of 3 series, but he is up against a very, very strong opponent in the likes of NaNiwa.
Certainly is, as MMA representing that Acer team in his away jersey, apparently. Normally they're wearing green, but this time white, as we jump into game number 1 between Mr. NaNiwa and MMA to determine who advances on first here from Group C, round of 16. Belshir Vestige, and spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our red Protoss, representing the Alliance and Sweden. Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, give it up for NaNiwa. And spawning up at the top left as our blue Terran, representing Korea and Acer. Ladies and gents, give it up for MMA.
And of course, our observing is being dealt out there by BC. But what do we see?
Uh-oh.
We see a very early barracks being thrown down here, or not barracks being thrown down, SCV moving out here with another SCV following. So we are going to have a very aggressive start here for MMA against NaNiwa.
I like how we've just gotten a little bit quieter when this happens.
Well, it's tense, man. This is a ballsy way to open up this series here, and especially against an emotional player like NaNiwa. But this is a 12 gateway. It's not 13. 12 gateway is a little bit faster, and NaNiwa's, it's not out of his repertoire to be able to be aggressive himself.
That's true.
You know, if he stops Chrono Boost after the one he's using now and starts to save it up and throws it into the gateway, he'd actually be very well set to deal with this.
But and unless NaNiwa actually scouts thoroughly around his natural, this is going to be outside of his vision for quite a while, if not to the point where it's just going to be straight up.
This build is just designed to beat Protoss players that skip the Zealot, which get the second gas and only rely on the Mothership Core to defend their bases. This is what the build is designed to beat. But NaNiwa is only on one gas at the moment. He will throw down the Cybernetics Core, but does he build a unit? Look at that, he's Chrono Boosting the gateway!
Oh wow, but he's sending it all the way across the map. Look where it's rallied.
But look, I mean, the Zealot's not going to be too far. It depends on if he, you know, piles the Marines. If he waits for 3 to 5, it depends where they are. But the Cybernetics Core is coming down as well. NaNiwa is Chrono Boosting out the Zealot, will want to get another one behind this.
I think he might stockpile. Whoa, hello. Well, I guess, you know, why, you know, if you're committing to this fully, that's a big full commitment.
Where are the Zealots going? Where is the Zealot going?
He's not going to see, he's just going to go straight up.
If the Zealot goes to the right-hand side of the Xel'Naga Tower, which it should do, and all the SCVs come to the left.
He's not going to see anything.
NaNiwa does have another Zealot here, but he's only got Zealots. He doesn't have a Mothership Core that shoots. It's gonna shoots down from the sky. He's only going to be able to have a Stalker here.
Okay, well, this is about to get scary.
NaNiwa just Chrono Boost the Nexus.
Did he? And he's saved up so much money for a Nexus as well.
Oh, and now he knows. Now he knows. The Mothership Core's on the way. Okay, at least the Mothership Core's been built for the Nexus. Another pilot's been thrown down. NaNiwa knows he's in trouble. MMA is bringing all his SCVs who are about to come join the Marines.
And he's only just seen these SCVs actually coming along with all of this as well. The Mothership Core has popped out, but he's starting to work on this gateway. If he can kill off this gateway with that bunker going down as well, this is going to cause a lot of damage. NaNiwa leaving that Zealot over the other side, trying to shut down his opponent's economy, but the SCV is going to work here against the probes, as well as the Marines trying to stay alive. One of them goes down straight away here. Doesn't actually micro back there and tries to micro back with the rest of them, but more Marines coming along. The bunker, the Zealot needs to do work. He needs to do work.
This is really weird because now the Mothership Core and Stalker is out. Yes, there's a lot of SCVs, but they're all falling down.
There's no Marines.
I don't think the Marines can even get to the bunker that's completed here with a Stalker and a Mothership Core, as long as he stops the Marines from getting in there. I think NaNiwa's fine. Yes, he still has a couple of probes. Yes, he's lost a lot, but look what's over there. The Zealot's killed 4 SCVs. There is no income, and MMA's down at 8 supply, and NaNiwa says, no, MMA, no, this is not how you're going to start this series up. This is not what to do. GG. NaNiwa says, easy.
Very nicely done by NaNiwa. He saw it at the very last second as well. There wasn't really much for him to actually read into that.
But one thing to just point out, you know, as much as NaNiwa, you know, saw it late, he had what it took to stop it. His build, luckily for him, was what it needed to be.
Yeah.
A Chrono Boosted Zealot, a Mothership Core and Stalker. And like I said, that build is there to beat out what Protoss players always do, which is double gas and Mothership Core alone.
All right, well, MMA contemplating what he wants to do here in game number 2. Perhaps he doesn't feel as confident in his TVP as he used to.
I don't know, but we see a little bit of frustration there too, I feel. It's like, always as a player, you say, all right, this build's going to be sick. It's going to be so good. I'm going to get up this first win. And then when it doesn't work, well, just look at this right now, because as you said, that Zealot needs to get to work. We're going to look at MMA. Just look at his face. He's like,
he's dejected.
No, this is not what it was meant to be. And he knows that this did not work.
And yep, he's not very happy with this at all. I mean, this is mid-game, and he's just taking his hand off his keyboard, just, you know, not really putting his whole heart into it, because he has no fighting units anymore. He had Zealots working on a gateway. Whoop-de-doo. And going into game number 2 here now. NaNiwa is one game away
from being another Protoss player in the round of 8.
Another Protoss.
And now it's down to MMA to stop that right now, right here, on this next map, which is Newkirk.
Stop that, you silly goose. Well, we'll see.
Well, in this tournament, silly duck.
Silly ducks. Silly ducks, man. He's another Korean that certainly could actually make something happen. That's an interesting way to wear your headphones. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, just cleaning those ears.
Getting comfortable, getting comfortable. He knows he's one game up. He knows now that all he has to do is win Newkirk Precinct here in game number 2. And that's all his work done today. It seems that he's not been too affected here right now. Playing well.
And of course, all the players that qualify for the round of 8 will just stay here in Cologne at the hotel that they're staying at and relax for the next few days. Do whatever, come here, come practice, go out, get drunk, whatever you want to do, basically.
Whatever.
It's up to you. So if NaNiwa wins this just one map, he gets to just relax, think about the round of 8, and think about all the other Protoss brothers he gets to play against.
Yeah, it's going to be PvP galore if we're not careful, as we have spawning down to that bottom right-hand corner. The Protoss that is one game away from advancing to the round of 8. Representing Sweden and the Alliance. Give it up for NaNiwa. Down to the bottom left-hand corner, our blue Terran representing Acer and Korea. Give it up for MMA.
So, I mean, we didn't really get any information on how MMA is going to play out this series through that game 1, unfortunately. We don't know how he's going to play his normal game, but we did get a bit of intel on how NaNiwa likes to play, and it's still the same as always. His style is still there, which is kind of take control of things a little bit more. Be able to get the gateway pressure on early. We may see some Immortal builds from him as well. But MMA, what are you doing? The refinery first here.
Well, he has options. I would like to go with Widow Mines. I would like to go with Widow Mine Medevac, with Marines. But there's other options. There are other options,
A pretty good build that's been popping up recently is to go directly for the reactor and straight for a factory, and even Hellions.
Yeah.
I mean,
didn't we see that yesterday?
We saw Hellions
a little bit of
against Protoss. So I think it was MVP that did it on day 1. Brought them in a little bit, but not this kind of build. I think the build that we may have saw, I can't remember who did it. It may have been in round of 32, but Hellions are pretty good. This map, Newkirk's got a large ramp, but it looks like the factory is going to be proxied rather than put side inside the main base here, as he does decide to throw that down. And with this coming, this does look, as you say, more Widowmine focus, because considering
put more the rally in.
Yeah,
as opposed to actually going for the drops here. I've seen a few games of MMA in terms of actually going for Widowmine play, but I was not expecting the proxy. Sending out this SCV now to go for what looks like a normal scout here for NaNiwa to realize, and gas still coming in here.
But only with 2 though, not 3, which means he is looking to try to spend more money on minerals, whether that be a command center to follow this down, or Marines being pumped out by that reactor. But one Stalker is out. I mean, one Zealot is out, followed by a Stalker.
Well, the Zealot will pop over and see that SCV moving in. So he's not really anticipating anything too crazy just yet. With that Widow Mine now rallied in. So, I mean, this Widow Mine always comes out at a good time. It's very hard to have detection out by the time this kind of Widow Mine placement is already in the main.
Well, depending on where that Stalker goes, if it goes across the map, the Widow Mine's timed out very nicely to walk in to the mineral line. Even if probes get a full surround, it's still going to just borrow, detonate. NaNiwa's going to have to be very careful with his income, with his probe line.
I like what MMA's done here with the wall as well. It's so important to keep yourself defended nicely at home. The mothership core is going to poke in, see the gas, see how much is mined, and be like, well, wait a minute, what else is going on here?
1 hit, 2 hit.
I wonder if the probes with that can actually kill it off.
No. Oh, no. Is it going to reach? Oh! Oh no!
Oh!
Oh no!
Cheeky probe.
Oh no! Oh dearie me, that's bad.
That didn't
Robotics
go so
facility is down immediately here. And as long as he just keeps track of the Widow Mine, and then the other one coming in, there is a sentry out, I think, just squeezed out. So the Stalker sentry, this is fine.
That Widow Mine is the saddest Widow Mine around. But this one, he might get a kill.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh. 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 Hey. Well, 3.
You sounded like a dolphin or a penguin there or something.
Dude, it would have been so funny if he'd have just gone for the one in the assimilator again, and it just like didn't get anything. That's what I was expecting.
You know, with the Widow Mine there, and it can even adjust its position, it's going to have another shot here.
Yep.
There's 2 on the natural, blocking the Nexus.
And he's going to chrono boost out that Observer for obvious reasons.
This Widow Mine's about to go again.
Oh. Oh.
Claris, behave.
Hashtag behave. Oh.
Oh!
That was a good one. That was a good one, that one.
That was 5 kills there. And MMA retreats with the other 2, knowing that the Observer is on its way, and that was pretty good. That was pretty good indeed here. So, even though the Stalker saw it early, and the second Stalker, MMA managed to make this work.
Yeah.
8 probe kills early on.
2 other Widow Mines scuttled away as well, saving those. Nice. And, I mean, what does NaNiwa do from here?
Well, he just has to expand.
Yeah.
He basically said, I'm not going to expand anytime soon. I don't want my money to go up to 1,000, so let's just add on a robotics facility, a couple of gateways, then expand when I can. So it was really well adjusted by him with what was going on. But I like the setup. A scan goes down here from MMA, sees the chrono boost in the Nexus, and the gateway's not active, and likewise the robotics facility not active.
And whilst all this is going on, the layout of MMA's factory in his main is actually positioned in such a way that would be inclined towards a starport to then go very, very aggressive. I mean, it's already queued up on that right-hand side of his main.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think MMA's position is very strong, of course, but NaNiwa's decided to throw down a robotics bay very early, considering, you know, what's gone in this game. He hasn't even finished his Nexus yet. And with a robotics facility going down so early, that's not a lot of gateway units that he can build, because when the robotics bay finishes, you need 400 gas to be able to spend on thermal lance and on a Colossus itself.
Yeah.
He's only at 275 at the moment. As you can see, he can't build anything at this point. And then he's going to have 200 minerals and another 500 minerals in total for the Colossus and thermal lance 2 in minerals. It's a major heavy investment here for NaNiwa to be able to go for the robotics base so early. But depending on where his chrono boost goes from this point, because he really can't afford to throw it too much into the Colossus because he won't have enough high probe count. He needs to focus on squeezing probes out, otherwise he won't be able to do anything apart from have 1 or 2 Colossus.
Yeah, and MMA, I mean, he's already switched up his starport with that reactor and is going to start producing medevacs once he gets up to that 4 count, or even just propels himself a little bit further. He can start those Vikings, especially if he gets the indication that there is a robo bay down this early. So he certainly has the options available to him to actually, you know, do very, very well against what NaNiwa is doing.
I think that NaNiwa adjusting the Colossus timing, and the reason for it here is because he realizes he's playing probably about 30 seconds or a minute behind where he should be in the game, compared to MMA, that is. So what he's doing is not chrono boosting and rushing out Colossus with chrono boost, but he's throwing the chrono boost into his probes to keep the income high and his economy good. But with just a single Colossus out at this point, he's defendable. I mean, he's fine. He's going to defend any kind of aggression on the ground.
And MMA here, yeah, just poking forwards, drops the scans, sees a Colossus, and he's just going to go for the drop at the back as well. It was slightly seen by the Observer, but did NaNiwa see it?
Absolutely, yes, because he throws down the photon overcharge immediately.
So, shuts that down. There's even an Observer there to say, no, Widow Mines, today is not your day.
Yep, perfect there, and all you got to do is just go back to mining. Good defense there by NaNiwa, and that's the beauty of his adjustment to his build, and now with the double forge down, he can immediately get 1-1 on the go.
Yeah.
And things are not looking too bad. It's a nice recovery from NaNiwa.
What is Mr. MMA doing back at home? He's got this 3rd command center in place, so he can continue to propel forth that economy, whilst we have MMA also moving through the middle here to rendezvous his forces together. Photon cannons, I like the photon cannons in the mineral line, just so he doesn't have to have his observers there all the time, as well as provide him a little bit of DPS to that defense.
Yeah, he really doesn't have many units. If you look at the army supply, he's really just got quality. He's down at 25 to 52. He's got double forges coming. He's going to have to force field well here. Oh dear.
He evacuated for a second there.
He's got to be careful. Oh, no, the Colossus can't go down.
Oh, great force fields. Absolutely fantastic force fields. Pretty much saved that Colossus just then, as MMA could have easily gone for it. But there is a second Colossus here that was killing off a few of these units that were dropping. Potion Overcharge here also trying to hold on strong against this. The army for MMA is not doing anything, and NaNiwa holds it back.
NaNiwa holds that really nicely without losing hardly anything with so little units. And with 1-1 on the way, he absolutely needs to be chrono boosted and getting over to 2-2. He throws down the Temple Archives, adds on additional gateways as he knows he kind of needs to be careful of the timing towards the Colossus, lots of Vikings in here and so, because he really doesn't know exactly the plan of MMA. He does know that the third command center is down, that an observer is there. But this is nice here. This is good play from NaNiwa.
Yeah.
Really, really good play because he definitely was behind in this game a little bit.
I'm liking the transition times here from NaNiwa indeed. He's getting charge, he's getting the Warp Prism out as well. So he has the opportunity to go for a bit of harassment, but the Vikings are already positioned to try and deal with that. But then again, it's always but. The NaNiwa here has an observer keeping an eye on that, but he does not have an observer keeping an eye on this. He will have to force his entire army to go over there and clean that up. He got the photon cannon, but not much else.
Yeah, not too much else here, as NaNiwa does see that he really needs to take an expansion soon, but the longer he waits, the worse it becomes for him. He does have Storm being chrono boosted out. He's got a lot of gas, so he can build quite a few High Templar here, as he has focused very low on building units, of course, so he does have money in the bank. He hasn't got 2-2 on the way either, and he just spent money on High Templar. What's his plan? He's got probes in production here. He's racing up towards 49, 50 odd-ish. But I think he's just playing it very calmly. I think he should start 2-2 soon.
Think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
He has to.
Unless he just wants to go with this, but that's kind of weird.
No, he's got too many probes, and NaNiwa doesn't make mistakes like that. He's at 55 probes.
All right, well, this drop could actually cause a little bit of damage, as, well, actually, this is pretty annoying for him, spread across all these locations
Storm's
here.
not ready yet either.
And Colossus could actually die, and it does. We'll force him away for now. Storm's just about to finish. All good.
Yeah, still no 2-2 though. NaNiwa deciding to, well, he's actually got Warp Prism here that's not going to do anything. It's going to get picked off quite fast if he's not careful.
It's just chilling out, and unfortunately now gets a bit of a rude awakening, as it will have to move away.
But behind this, because of how early the third command center was for MMA, he's at a very high supply count. He's mining really well. He's got a lot of money coming. He does have the Ghost Academy just finishing up, as well as 2-2. The big problem I foresee here... The big problem I foresee is a timing around 2-2, even ignoring Ghosts for a little bit, because NaNiwa really doesn't have that many units because he's been delayed from 3 bases for so long. So look at that, 20 Marauders and 29 Marines. I think if MMA just takes a fight with his 2-2 upgrades finishing, he may just be able to pick up the game here and now. Even as long as he evades Storms, which are here. But that's going to be likewise the crucial point for NaNiwa's defense, is to hit those Storms. Colossus will die fast. There's only 2, and there's a lot of Vikings.
And there's no Ghosts, so he certainly has the opportunity to...
3 Colossus, sorry.
He certainly has... there's 3 Ghosts on the way as well here, but they're not going to be out anywhere near in time if MMA wants to go for this engagement straight away. There's so much AoE there for NaNiwa.
It's going to be a hard hold. He hasn't even got +2 attack on the way. He's only got +2 armor here, NaNiwa, so...
Ooh. And that was a good position for those Vikings right there. Getting 3 volleys off against these 3 Colossi.
If somehow NaNiwa is able to pull off the hold here, this is remarkable. Look at the spread of MMA. A classic, even Zerg-style attack.
Oh, very, very nice concave indeed here. Tries to drop the Storms on these Vikings, knowing that that's a very, very strong point that he has to kill off, and they actually all die off here. But does he have the gateway forces to actually tank for these Colossi as well as the High Templars? Great Storms!
Wow.
And NaNiwa is going to push this back.
Wow, look at you! That was nice there. I'd like to say that was... I would say that was standard for NaNiwa because we expect that kind of quality from him. But MMA, his Vikings were clumped up and died to just simple Storms, which wasn't that good. And then, of course, his units were kind of clumped up around the 3rd Nexus. So I would say that was kind of a mistake. Despite MMA being spread up and set up in that arc, he didn't really maximize the damage he could have done. But still, NaNiwa is a little bit behind because of the upgrades. 3-3 is on the way for MMA. He's got a fantastic economy and can easily replace what he just lost. Can NaNiwa do the same? And he needs those upgrades, needs them bad.
Yeah, or he needs to go before that somehow. But with MMA already threatening at the back here with these drops, I'm not really sure how he's probably going to be able to do that. So he's going to have to play this out a little bit longer, adding on the 3 more gateways with Archons morphing in. This drop does occur, but will the feedbacks even hit? He's just going to go for the Storm. Feedbacks wouldn't have killed those medevacs off anyway. And actually, that Storm killed off a sizable chunk of that army.
Yeah, and he does escape with some of them, realizing that there's way too many units there. But still, no upgrades for NaNiwa. Is he just going to go for one attack?
No, man.
His army size, I mean, let's have a quick look-see. It's 102 for MMA, 86 for NaNiwa. He's not quite there when it comes to his army size, but without upgrades. And 3-3? If 3-3 finishes, as well as +2 for Vikings and Cloak.
So much.
I'm really scared for NaNiwa. His probe counts are at 67. It's not bad.
I mean, NaNiwa's going to be relying on his AoE alone, but now that the Ghosts are out, Storms are going to be harder to hit. They are guaranteed going to be harder to hit. You have extra factors to plan with when it comes to actually trying to dodge EMPs, etc. And mixing in the Dark Shrine whilst getting this 4th Nexus up.
Well, here come the upgrades, but they're very late. And I think he's saying that if he did research those upgrades, he may not have enough ground units to keep on in this game, to keep fighting for that one map to be in the round of 8 here. But now with MMA just closing in on 3-3 and having Ghosts and Vikings of his own, as soon as he hits 200 supply, which he basically is at, and 3-3 upgrades finish, he's going to fight again.
Even 1 or 2 Hellbats mixed in here, as MMA knows that any little production facility that he has can be utilized to quickly max out and then go for the aggression. He sees his opponent's army positioning, but unfortunately won't see that for very long as the scan does drop and kill off that Observer. And NaNiwa, he's spreading out some of his High Templars, and that's annoying sometimes for a Terran.
NaNiwa has a good army, does not have the upgrades, but he has a good size of that army.
Yeah.
As you say, splash damage is crucial. Can NaNiwa get the right fight to kind of equalize the game maybe, because he needs a 4th base, which he hasn't got. He needs that Storm was okay, I suppose. I didn't really catch too much of it, but
he's going to stall out. I think he's going to try and use this nuke. Like, you see nukes being researched from time to time and they just don't get used, but I think MMA here just stalls out, but creates a fantastic economy back home to remax off of and just be very, very irritating with these drops, going for the cancellation. A great snipe out there from MMA.
Keeping NaNiwa back, keeping his economy low. Beautiful drop. Even a simple 3 Marauder drop just did its job. Scan goes down, so he's no Observer with the army, or at least on his army. Another scan, apparently. Okay, that was on the real one. Cloaked Ghosts, High Templar, NaNiwa.
Nuke finishes.
Oh god, EMPs, absolutely wonderful EMPs, and MMA's going to come in for this fight. Is NaNiwa going to be able to hold on? High Templar at the back still have Storm.
Yeah, they do. They throw one down here, trying to kill off some of the bio as well as the Vikings, and do get quite a few of them here. The Viking count is only at 1, so the Colossi are still uncontested, but he realizes that, bringing the Marauders forwards, gets another of those Colossi. A great Storm down to the south here, with these Colossi trying to pick everything up here, and he's going to be so close, but in the end, I think MMA trading that army blow for blow. I don't think he does too badly with his economy back at home.
Yeah, that was really good. I kind of thought that was a solid defense again there by NaNiwa, considering the upgrades. That was +2 armor and +1 attack, I think, at that time. Maybe +2 attack had finished, but against 3-3. NaNiwa holds on again, and for now has an army supply advantage and an economic. His setup is good, I guess, once he actually goes over towards that 4th base, which is now just about to finish. But MMA is in search of destroying that 4th again.
Interestingly enough here, MMA actually only has 33 workers. So, against 62. Storm does go down a lot of this bio and will hurt it quite considerably. And we'll chase that back. MMA's income is not as good as we were expecting, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of command centers. He's got a fair few sets of mules for sure. But yeah, NaNiwa does have, at this point, when I was looking, did have a bit of an income advantage. It is relatively equal. And this game is going on. It is equal. There's a Warp Prism with a High Temper on it. There's a DT on the natural as well. And on the natural RBC, just to the top left of the natural, I got Eagle Eyes. I can see that red dot.
And whoa, a nice snipe out here for MMA if he's able to get that Robo facility. DT going to work, but he does get the Robo.
Oh, NaNiwa's 4th as well.
Oh, good move in here with the Marauders, killing off some of the High Templars, killing off the cannons. Can he get the Nexus? If he can get that, that's really going to limit how much NaNiwa actually has here. It's probably going to go down. He's just going to suicide these units. Oh, but no, he forces it back. Very good by NaNiwa. Oh, and the Storms.
Oh, Nice storms there by NaNiwa, playing a great game, and the SCV counts down to 30. He's got a lot of command centers though, I think.
He's building 7 SCVs at a time, which is a lot of SCVs, I'll be honest with you. He's going to get that economy running quickly.
6 orbital commands.
Nice. All right, well, NaNiwa, army supply, 104 against 112.
NaNiwa's starting to win this game. He's got his 4th base down. He's got +3 attack on the way. He's got a decent army supply for the first time here, a better economy. And NaNiwa, if he gets to 200 supply with the robotics facility coming in, which he can obviously start to build Colossus again. This is... Just think about NaNiwa and how far he was behind at some points in this game and where he is now.
He's going to cloak up here with these ghosts. Special ops. Ooh, lands an EMP, but doesn't catch one of the High Templars at the very end there.
That's a beautiful set of EMPs.
Yeah, and will separate his units up here into a great concave. Storm does land on a lot of that bio. Will have to micro that back along with the Zealots as they charging forwards with tanking for those Colossi to charge on force.
There's no Vikings.
There's just no Vikings. Yeah, 3 are there, but those Zealots are tanking the damage they need to make this work for NaNiwa.
And NaNiwa is going to push MMA back for now, but he does not have an aggressive pylon on the other side of the map to actually counterattack with now, and definitely just going to replenish his army. Again, he's going to just go ahead and say, I killed a lot of ghosts there, I think. Let's build some more Archons and increase my army strength, as NaNiwa has a 40 supply advantage. He's playing a very, very good game here and is looking absolutely incredible on form. People were doubting if he was going to be able to perform today after a series of tweets that he made, but he is in a position moments from now where he can take a 2-0 victory if this fight goes well for him.
Yeah, again, still a lot of Zealots there to actually tank the damage. A little contingent of units actually going down to the south here for MMA to try and keep his opponent back and try and do some damage to the economy, but will it even be enough as he forces the liftoff of this base? NaNiwa right now is on the verge of actually doing a lot of damage here to MMA. He's going to go for the nuke. He's going to try and nuke that base whilst all of this is going on.
But what it cost? But what?
Oh, here we go. Is he actually going to be able to react in time? Oh, well,
no.
That was anticlimactic, I'm going to say.
But at what cost there, Adabisi? That ghost's not going to do too much there. Even if he killed the probe line, with this army that NaNiwa has, is that going to be stopped? Look at this pylon on the cannon. That's for ghosts and whatnot if he loses his observer.
I like how that nuke never lands now. It's just flying off somewhere in space forever and ever. But
yeah, it's probably landed on Neoplanet S.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, MMA now here, still trying to move around, still trying to go for the defense of his bases, but this is a very strong army.
He's in trouble here. NaNiwa has played a great game, won a solid defense against that, that cheese build from MMA. And now NaNiwa playing super solid, an amazing storm coming in there that, hits a lot of that army. And what we're going to see from NaNiwa is just a big fight to end this series. And what a way to set himself up to move further than he did last season. He needs to be a little careful though, because of course the army supply difference not too different. I look at the overall supplies, and then I look at the army supply, I'm like, oh, hold on a minute, there's no SCV. So
exactly.
It's not quite over yet. It is 128 for NaNiwa, who is getting ready to kind of take this fight once he sees the opportunity.
He set himself up so well, though. So well here. Getting Blink behind this as well is the icing on the cake if NaNiwa can take the proper engagement that he wants. MMA looks as if he wants to try and cross the T or just completely avert his eyes from this army. And looks like NaNiwa, he's just going to go for it here. Oh, he gets a good hit on some of those ghosts. In fact, they don't go down so quickly there. NaNiwa may have ended up just focusing those with the storms as well. NaNiwa crushing through this army. GG!
Well played.
As NaNiwa advances onto the round of 8, there were doubters, but NaNiwa today proves once again he is the NaNiwa.
One step further from last season where he finished in the round of 16, but he just made MMA look like nothing. From the defense in game number 1, excellent control. Of course, a bit of a setup advantage from his build, but nonetheless, game 2. Just ignore game number 1. Game 2 was a beautiful display of NaNiwa's patience and how collective he is as an individual. Just wonderful game.
Very nice. It can always be too easy when you're in a position like that to overextend, think, oh, well, I need to do some damage here. But no, NaNiwa kept his cool, killed off SCV after SCV with storm drops, made it work. And now advancing on to the round of 8, our 5th confirmed Protoss. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And then we have a guaranteed Protoss tomorrow because it's 3 Protoss and a Zerg. We have 6. 6 out of 8 so far. But now it's time to find out, is it going to be a Terran or a Zerg?
This is important.
That comes out from this group now as NaNiwa claims that first place spot.
And if you are this Terran or this Zerg, all you have to do is practice against Protoss pretty much.
Yeah.
For the round of 8.
Wow, wow, what a setup we have here coming for this weekend.
Pretty crazy stuff. All right, well, NaNiwa advancing on to the round of 8. Very, very cool from him. MMA, though, not down and out just yet. He falls down into the pit, as we call it, here to fight against either Tefel or Happy, as that match will indeed be next up here on stage at the ESL Studios. And if you haven't already, I'm under the impression we might have some tickets left for this weekend, but
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you should get them, because the atmosphere here in the studio is always fantastic.
MMA sweating there as you see that it was a difficult game. He very emotional, upset there with that loss, as I don't think he was very happy with how he played, to be honest.
Seemingly not.
Not too happy at all, but he has another fighting chance, of course, in the finals match. Once we get through the losers match, we'll be able to see if MMA can still advance through.
Yeah. All right, well, we shall go to a post-match interview with the winner, advancing on to the round of 8, Mr. NaNiwa, along with Red Eye.
Thanks very much, guys. With NaNiwa, congratulations, first of all. Round of 8, is that redemption for you from last season? Is that made up for the losses last time?
I guess so, but I'm still very disappointed about my performance last time, but you can't change the past, so I don't really care about it anymore.
Okay, let's talk about the game. First game, were you expecting the cheese to come out?
A lot of Korean Terrans play like that, and I've been in Korea for 2 months now, so I've had my fair share of cheeses while being greedy. I was really lucky that I went for the Zealot Scout first, and he managed to do that build right then. So I knew by then that, like, if I just killed the first Marines, my Zealot will kill his economy and it will be game over. So I think I was really lucky.
Yeah, well, I think you played really well game 1, but game 2, for me, I think that was some really impressive play. You said before we came on air, I was a bit lucky, but take nothing away, because you were behind in that game for a long period of time. You were harassed constantly. You put up some great defense at the start of the game. The upgrade war was MMA was winning the upgrade war from the beginning. I mean, you were way behind on the upgrades, and yet somehow you've ended up winning the game. I mean, it was a combination of things. Was it a little bit of luck? Was it a bit of skill? Was that why?
Well, I think you always have to have some luck, but of course there's always going to be that factor, right, for both players. So personally, I thought if I could just hang on and not die, I could eventually win in a long game. Like, I practiced a lot of long games in Korea because it used to be my weak point. So I really tried to work on that. And so far, I think I played way better than I did before I went to Korea against Terran. I don't know if it was luck. I guess it can't be that lucky because I'm doing well in practice too. But
I mean,
I'm really close though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you picked up on the fact that you've played very differently, because that was what I was going to talk to you about. A couple of months in Korea, we've seen players go to Korea before, foreign players go to Korea and come back a couple of months later, a different type of player. They have more knowledge, they can cope with different types of cheese better. You did that in game 1, and then game 2, as you said, your long game has got so much better against Terran. So luck or whatever, it's worked out.
But yeah, it's true. I was really far behind in game 2. Like, I went for some kind of a push because I thought that he would be a bit nervous because he lost game 1 really stupidly, so he would like play super safe, I thought. But Koreans, they have balls of steel, so he went for a really risky build once again, and I think he got a really good outcome from the build. Like, he killed 8 probes, he delayed my expansion for so long, and I was just far behind. But I always see some hope at the end of the tunnel, I guess. As long as I survive, I'm very confident in my skill.
Well, you did an amazing job to survive through quality units and then finish him off at the end. Congratulations, well done. You are through to the round of 8. We'll see you in the quarterfinal. So, NaNiwa makes it 5 out of 5. It's PvP. That's what it is so far in the round of 8, but we are going to get something a little different in our next 2 matches. We've got one more space tonight to give away, and then Group D tomorrow. For now, though, we're going to go back to Apollo, who's going to break down a stunning victory for NaNiwa.
Thank you, Red Eye, once again. Great to see NaNiwa in high spirits here, as we're going to take a look at kind of the major, I think one of the biggest turning points, I think, in this game. NaNiwa was as he described, very far behind just from the opening that MMA chose to go for the Widow Mines and then being able to kill 8 probes, keep the expansion from coming down. But then what happens, if we look at the upgrades for both players here at this point too, because I think this was the kind of timings that I think 2-2 was about to complete here, or close to completing. It's going to complete in 15 seconds time. This was the push in MMA's mind that was probably going to win him the game and tie the series up, or at least one of the pushes he tried to make. So what we're going to look at now, the army supply for MMA, much bigger, 110 to 82. NaNiwa still at 60 minutes, I think that says, or 15, I'm not too sure, I'm sure you can't see either. Hasn't even got his third base up yet, which is kind of bad for his income. So it's very important not to lose a lot. So let's take a look at this fight and the spread that MMA sets himself up for to try to close the game. And more importantly, how NaNiwa was able to kind of start to equalize the game up, because this is one of the biggest turning points. So what we see from MMA is a scan ahead of time. He sends in his Vikings because he does want to obviously target down the Colossus as fast as possible. He ends up, and this is one of the most beautiful things I liked, I think this is the point in the game, where he spreads it into a massive C cup shape. So if we look at this from MMA, he's saying, all right, I have more units, I have better upgrades, but he's got splash damage. Let's not let that happen to me. So if we pause it, first of all, the first big mistake from MMA is, yes, he spread his Marines Marauders out, but I don't think he balanced the spread first. The Vikings are all in one location, so they're not even spread at all. They should have been spread too. The other point is there are way too many units on this left-hand side. That was one of the biggest points, actually, because up the north, there was too little. I don't think he balanced the spread properly. So what ends up happening is NaNiwa, it's like force fields in a way, the invisible force fields, because he kills up the first army real easy, and then all of a sudden, on this left-hand side, there's a bunch of units that come through a choke point between the Nexus and this building, then get hit by storms, and then all of a sudden, NaNiwa, if we look at the army supply, who is much further behind than he was, is actually equal. And now he has his third base established. MMA lost a lot, so he actually doesn't have any map control and can't do anything. And from this point, I mean, there's 10 minutes left in the game, but this is the biggest point that allowed NaNiwa to get back into the game. There was even a second fight when 3-3 came and whatnot, but this was the biggest thing, I think, that allowed NaNiwa to get back to where he wanted to be. So that's all we're going to look at here with this replay and this one, and we'll see what we can look at between Happy and Tefl in the next series. That's me done here. Red Eye, take things away.
Thank you very much, sir. Awesome analysis, as ever, from the awesome Apollo. We have 2 more matches left tonight to find out who goes through from Group C. NaNiwa is not only the king of the north, he's king of WCS right now, still on course for a grand final appearance. He's also trying to improve his position in the WCS points rankings, where he's currently ranked at 24th. Needs a top 16 position for the end of the season to visit BlizzCon. Don't forget, there are still some tickets if you would like to see NaNiwa in action. You can come down to the ESL TV studios here in Cologne. It's a balmy 23 degrees right now. It's perfect. You can enjoy free drinks as part of your ticket, and you can meet the players, grab some signatures, and sit and chat with them as well. I'm sure MC will be hanging around at some point, so will Stefano as well. Make sure you do get your tickets on that URL. They are still available for tomorrow's Group D matches, and amazingly, we've still got a few tickets left for the weekend for the grand finals on Saturday and Sunday. Again, don't forget, this week is the whole of European WCS Season 2 finale. Your winners will be crowned on Sunday evening. We are going to take a very quick break. When we come back, though, we'll find out from the lower bracket who goes through to face MMA for the final slot in Group C.